what strategies are there when it comes to like paying off debt and building wealth and building your legacy? Like, where do you start? So let's talk through that today a little bit. All right. In all the years I've been doing this, there's so many different types of strategies to help people eliminate debt and build wealth. There's the debt snowball, debt avalanche, debt stacking. There's things called like velocity banking, right? Or the HELOC methodology, or even with a personal line of credit or a business line of credit, right? You could use a second position HELOC or personal line of credit. You can even do what's called a first lien HELOC or all-in-one loan is another name for it. Okay. A lot of people, myself included, when incorporating a lot of these strategies, will also use a program known as the Money Max account. I'm a user of it, I'm a believer of it. It absolutely works. It's not for everybody, but let's see if that makes sense to incorporate into your world, into your life. Then there's this strategy that I've been doing candidly since 2009. It works, the infinite banking or becoming your own banker strategy, the infinite banking concept, using a life insurance policy designed the right way so that you can store capital, utilize that capital, build a death benefit, and it just gets more efficient and more efficient. You can actually use the dollars that you're storing in the life insurance policy for other things. And it's actually still compounding and working for you. That's a whole strategy that I've been doing with my life since 2009. So let's be clear. I've been doing velocity banking, the HELOC type strategy since 2007. Take that back, 2006. I've been using the Money Max account since 2007. Guys, all these types of strategies can work. So understand that from the simple debt snowball methodology to more advanced velocity banking and infinite banking type strategies, they all can work. Truth is, what's the right thing for you to do? Well, again, let's talk through that. All right, and let's meet. Now, let's break it down a little further. This debt snowball or debt avalanche method. They're actually quite similar, but not exactly the same. And debt stacking is actually another form of debt avalanche, to be blunt. Okay. So that's why I just have the two here. I hope I give you enough information that you say, you know what, Brian, he's right. He's genuine. He wants to make an impact and a difference and just teach and educate and help people. So debt snowball, if you look on the left here, it starts with the smallest loan. You're going to pay off the smallest loan first, no matter what the interest rate is. Why would you do that? Well, because it gives you momentum, right? It helps you build. Like if you pay off $1,000 loan that was $100 a month, well now you got that $100 a month to pay towards the next loan, right? You put extra payments towards the smallest balance first. So let's say your discretionary income is around $300-400 a month, and you're making your minimum payment of $100, right? But you get that $1,000 loan paid off in a few months. Now you got $300-400 to use towards the next smallest loan. And one of the reasons it's really valuable that people do it this way is it kind of gives you motivation, like momentum, right? Like a snowball going down a hill. It gets bigger and bigger as it's getting more snow on it, and it's creating a bigger impact at the end. You just keep doing that from the smallest loan to the next smallest loan to the next smallest loan until it's all paid off. Okay? Doesn't pay attention to interest rate at all. Now, the opposite of that, debt avalanche, or again, debt stacking, it starts with the highest interest rate, no matter what the size of the loan is. So you put in all your extra dollars to pay off debt towards the highest interest rate first. Once that's paid off, it's like an avalanche, right? Then you move to the loan with the next highest rate. You pay the minimum payment on everything else. You pay the minimum payment on the next highest rate loan, plus the amount you were paying on that first loan. Okay, so it's a little different than Snowball because Debt Snowball focuses on the smallest loan size, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, whatever that is. Once that's paid off, you go to the next one. Whereas Debt Avalanche is focusing on the highest interest rate. Now, it actually may save you more interest to do the Debt Avalanche, especially if there's a bunch of different rates going on. I like Debt Snowball better if that you're choosing between the two, because it actually gives you more momentum, gives you more cash flow faster. So people tend to lean towards Snowball, but some people love the debt avalanche method because it saves you a little more interest over time, for sure. Okay, so that's the difference. Again, a lot of people use debt snowball over debt avalanche if they're looking at these models, right? The next thing, the velocity banking movement. Guys, this is powerful. A lot of people don't believe it. A lot of people don't think it works. I can tell you from someone that's been doing it for years, it works. Okay. The way it really is working is you're using a line of credit, but you're using it like a checking account. Okay. So whether it's a second position home equity line of credit or a personal line of credit, or an all-in-one like first position line of credit, which actually replaces your mortgage. It actually is your mortgage now. It is a massive line of credit that actually has a sweep account, a checking account attached to it, so that the functionality literally helps you with your cash flow. The way this is working is all your income goes into the line of credit, all of it, and all your expenses get paid out of it. Okay, as much as possible anyway. Now, you could do this just that way. The reason it works is the way the interest is mathematically calculated on a revolving, open-ended line of credit is massively different than the way interest is calculated on a closed-ended, front-loaded, typically amortized loan, like a mortgage, or even personal loan or car loan, right? The way the interest is calculated on a revolving line of credit, like a home equity line of credit, personal line of credit, etc., is based on something called the average daily balance. So each time you're receiving a paycheck or your cash flow as a business owner or something, money going into this like a checking account, but it's actually not, it's a revolving line of credit, the average daily balance is going to go down. Now, you want to take it a step further. This is what I do. You pay as many bills as you can on your normal everyday bills, spending bills, whatever, going out to eat, etc., on a credit card. Now, the credit card doesn't charge you interest if you pay it off in that billing cycle, right? Within that 30 days, typically. So hear me out. You put all your bills that you can, all your expenses for the month on a separate credit card. You put your income or your cash flow into the line of credit. It's technically a payment, but it's just going in, flowing in, flowing in, flowing in. That means all month long, the balance of that line is going down, going down, going down. And at the end of the month, you're going to pay off the credit card that you just used for all those other expenses for free, if you understand how credit cards work, for about 30 days, and you pay it off with the line of credit. So now your money is working for you and working for you, right? The velocity of money is real. The movement of money is real. That's why it's called velocity banking. This is a phenomenal strategy if done the right way, that you can even take chunks, and that's the whole velocity banking movement. That's why it works. At certain intervals, let's say you have a large mortgage or a car loan or personal debt, especially high interest, right? Type things. But even front-loaded mortgages, if you could take a chunk from the line of credit and send it towards the payment of principal as an extra payment, not your normal payment, that's happening every day, every month, anyways. That's actually going to accelerate the payoff of that debt without you even really feeling it, because the timing and the chunks don't affect you if done the right way. That's why you need people like me to help you with that. Okay. So that's on a second position. You can also do this first lien HELOC, like I talked about earlier, or an all-in-one loan, first lien HELOC. There's different names for it. But literally, this is where you have like a checking account, a sweep account is built into this whole process. All your income goes in, all your expenses get paid out. It actually is connected through the bank. That's why it's called all in one. It is actually your mortgage and a checking account built all together. Okay. It calculates and earns interest on the average daily balance of that period, right? So it's really neat. It acts like a huge, giant 3, 4, 500, $1 million line of credit, like a huge credit card. So it acts like a line of credit and it acts as your checking and savings account all at the same time. So obviously, if you're making more money than you spend, I will say that's where this strategy really helps. The balance is forever going down. Forever, forever, forever. Yet the equity is there because it's a line of credit that if you need the funds, that's why it's your checking and savings account too. It's all built in together, right? And it's all built together for you so that as your money's going in, as your expenses are going out, as your money's going in, expenses are going out, the balance is forever going down, which means the interest, because the calculate interest is based on the average daily balance, is forever going down. I've done this, it works. I've done it with the second position HELOC, it works. Okay. Where you chunk it instead of just doing it this way. They both are great strategies. The velocity banking methodology and strategy is very powerful if done the right way. Certainly able to help you. Okay. This is a great example. Like for those that are math nerds and want to see it, um, this is using a second position just to show you the velocity banking math. Here's your mortgage. It's an old one because it's 3%, but it's good to use an old one so that even on low mortgage interest, it shows the power. $370,000 mortgage, 3% for 30 years. And this client, let's call him John and Sue Smith, they want to utilize a line of credit. They have a home equity line of credit that they got, for 50 grand, 100 grand, whatever. And it's just sitting there. And they're realizing, you know what, Brian? Teach us. Help me eliminate interest. Get the banks out of our life. Give me more flexibility and control. I really am intrigued by this velocity banking stuff. Help me understand it. So this is their mortgage. As you can see, they have a payment of 1560. Now that's just principal and interest. That's not the, loan, the taxes and insurance. Just keeping it simple. The principal and interest payment. Man, look at that first month. Almost $1,000 is going to interest, and only 635 is going to principal. Yet it's a 3% mortgage. Well, that's because if you understand the way an amortized loan works, it is 3%. They're not lying, but it's an amortized front-loaded loan because the balance is higher, right? Like after the first month's payment, you notice the balance only went down, what, $635, right? So the interest is based on the balance of the loan that month, right? And so that's why it's all front loaded. The larger the loan, the larger the interest, right? So that being said, it's going to take forever to get to the part of the loan where there's more principal being paid than interest. Quite some time, years, 15 years or so. Okay, crazy, Now, and I don't know if it's 15 years exactly, but you get my point. Years down the road. If there was a way that you can chunk principal payments towards this loan and jump ahead in the loan schedule where it's more advantageous for you, but you don't really feel it, would that be good? How do you do that? Well, if you have a line of credit over here, let's just play a game. This client is going along and they say, you know what? The first month, I'm going to borrow $31.99. It's a 10% line of credit. So you're going to have to pay $320 if you keep that balance at $31.99 for 12 months. But you're going to take $31.99 from this home equity line of credit over here, and you're going to send it as an extra principal payment towards this mortgage. Or maybe for someone else, it's a car loan or other types of debt. Maybe it's super high interest credit card debt or something, right? But like, what does that even do? If you understand the math of this, like this month, this first month, if the balance was $31.99 and it never went down because you didn't put your income into it, which you would if you were doing velocity banking, but if the balance was $31.99, so this month, yep, you got charged $26 in interest. But you canceled this month of interest, this month, this month, this month, and this month. So in one chess move, you saved $4,600 in interest. This month for making this chess move, you had to pay $26 to do it. Not to mention, you just canceled 5 mortgage payments immediately. You jumped ahead. Like the time came off the back end of the loan. I get that. Like next month, you still got your minimum mortgage payment too. But the interest came off the front part of the loan. You actually jumped ahead in your loan schedule. And I can absolutely break that down for anyone. Once we meet, we're going to break that down month by month and go through that. We can. But when you apply principal to a front-loaded amortized loan, like a mortgage, whatever the new principal is, that's where you are in the loan. So you are now at 366 instead of 369. So that means all these months of interest, it's gone. You will not pay that interest. You jumped ahead in the loan, and that's where you are at that point in that amortized schedule. So do a little math for yourself. Even if you never paid off the home equity line of credit that you took the 31.99 from, when does $320 a year in interest match the interest you saved? $4,600. And I'm going to do the math for you so you really grasp that and understand that. 4601 divided by 320. 14 years. 14 and a half almost, 14.38. That's crazy. If you're really doing the velocity banking methodology and it's rinse and repeat, every once in a while, take a chunk from the line of credit, pay it towards other debts and the mortgage and other, and you're using that line of credit like a checking account, meaning your income's going in and you're just chunking it once in a while towards other debts. Most of our clients are debt free, mortgage and everything between 5 and 10 years. And all that cash flow is now being used for them. And we even incorporate the next strategy that I'm going to talk about, which is the infinite banking concept, where you're literally replacing the function of banks in your life. You're not financing from them anymore. You become your own bank, and all that cash flow and all that money that was flowing away from you is now flowing back to you. And you're in control, and you're earning that interest that you were paying towards the bank into a system of control for yourself. It's so powerful. Okay. Now, some of my clients, quite a bunch of them actually, use this program known as the Money Max account for their velocity banking. Now, like all of them are great. Honestly, they're teaching people how to become a velocity banking executioner, I'll say executor, sorry, not executioner, executor. And the velocity banking methodology is awesome. Why I love the Money Max account is if you understand the history of how long I've been using the Money Max account, which used to be called the Money Merge account. Okay. They perfected it over the years. They've gone over like they're on iteration 6, almost 7 that's coming. And it's an online system that comes with coaching and support to help you execute all this really, really well. If you know their history, they're really the Money Max account system. They're really the ones that brought it to the America in a big way back in 2004, before anyone even knew what velocity banking really was. Okay. Understand their history. They have a great ebook. I can help you with that. They were known as You First Financial. Now they're called United Financial Freedom, or they were United First Financial. They changed their name to incorporate everything that they do, which is maximizing the efficiency. And they even won the Ernst& Young Award for the product. So it's a great system. The velocity banking method is great. I can help you with that. Man, if you want to perfect it, if you really want to perfect it and not just incorporate a strategy, but the execution of it and actually planning and forecasting and really stay on target, like a GPS in your car tells you when to turn left, when to turn right. The Money Max account really helps you execute the strategy of velocity banking, or even the infinite banking concept can be used with the Money Max. Okay, so I love this quote because this is why I still use the Money Max account after all these years. Listen, I have HELOCs. I do infinite banking. I have many different policies for life insurance that incorporate the becoming your own banker strategy. And I am my own banking system for things we buy. But this quote by Tony Robbins is perfect. You can know how to do all this stuff. Man, you really should use tools to help you execute it. And the best one that I found is the Money Max account, which is why to this day I still help clients utilize it with what they're doing in their plan. Okay, so execution will trump knowledge every day of the week. Okay, next, Infinite Banking or Becoming Your Own Banker. Unbelievable book. If you haven't read it, by the late Nelson Nash, like I absolutely encourage you. Like I'll even give if we meet and we have a consultation, like and you want a copy of this book, I have them for clients. I have no problem giving you one. But I encourage you. I mean, you can buy it yourself. It's 20 bucks or something, not even. Please buy it, right? But I'm here to help. If you want a copy when we meet, I can certainly give you one as well. But this is really one of the most powerful things that I've done for myself All these strategies work and all of them are great, but recapturing the money and repeating that process of replacing the function of banking in your life, I mean, absolutely works. And I love it. Like, I so love it. I encourage people to do it. How it works is you literally start a high cash value whole life insurance policy. And I know there's people out there that know what index universal lives are and IULs, and I get it. But to do infinite banking, it's about certainty, control, flexibility. I encourage you greatly to understand why you should use a dividend paying whole life insurance contract designed the right way, the way I do for my clients, with perfection, to create efficiency and control from a mutual company. And we can get into more specifics if we meet. Okay. But what I love about it is a place to store your capital, way better than a checking or savings account. And it's stored there, which creates more death benefit, more life insurance for you later, more cash accumulation, which is the storage place. It's almost like a savings account in a way. And when you need the dollars, whether it's to pay off debt, for an investment, to buy real estate, whatever, you're taking a loan against it. Not like a savings account or checking account, or even, goodness, even 401ks, things like that, where you take a loan from it or take money from it. You know, you save money in a savings account. When you take it, it's gone. When you're doing infinite banking and done the right way, you're taking a loan against the policy that you technically don't even have to pay back. Because if you pass away, it will pay back that loan as part of the death benefit. But here's what's great. If there was a way that you could store capital in an account, and even when you go to use it as a loan against it to do other things with it, the money inside that cash value account continues to grow, continues to compound, literally using the same dollars twice so that your money is working for you in two places at the same time. Like, why wouldn't you want, how much money would you store in this account first before using it for other things? And the best advice I ever got with infinite banking is when you understand what it really means to control the function of banking in your life and to become your own bank and your own banking system for your family, when you really understand what that means, you're going to know exactly what you need to do. And I'm here to help you through that and understand that and educate you on what that means. See, a lot of my clients do like all of these strategies, at least some of them together. Money max account, velocity banking, infinite banking, like we literally compound it all together. And it's a step by step process because it's not a product. It is a process of recapturing your money, repeating that process of eliminating interest, getting the banks out of your life, and becoming your own system for generation to generation to generation and teaching it for the future of your kids, grandkids, etc. And when you understand what it really means to become your own banking system, utilizing dividend paying whole life insurance contracts from a mutual company, and utilizing velocity banking when it makes sense, oh my goodness, you can have your money just continually to work for you over and over and over, creating more and more wealth in the process. Certainly happy to help you with that. Okay. Um, an idea that kind of makes sense when you're understanding this is the debtor versus the saver versus the wealth creator. This is a great little like visual for you. The debtor at the zero line, and I've done videos about the zero line before, but the debtor like goes in debt, right? They get a loan from the bank, whether it's for a car, credit cards, mortgage, whatever, and they're at the zero line, and now all of a sudden they're in the red because they borrowed money, they owe money, and then slowly they pay it back over time, and then they buy their next car. Let's pretend they're buying a car, and they pay it back over time, right? That money is always flowing away from you. You never get above zero because you're buying something, paying it back, buying something, paying it back, buying something, paying it back. And then like the saver, like, oh, look, I'm doing it better. Well, you're still winding up at zero. So what do I mean by that? Like think about it. I'm gonna save money for my car or for my next couch or whatever, right? I'm going to save money in savings. And look at this. I just saved a bunch of money and I bought my car cash. You're at zero. You got the car cash, which is cool, but now that money's gone. It has flowed away from you and it will never be seen again. All you could ever do is save more for the next purchase and do it again. Save more, do it again. So that money is interrupted, right? Like it's interrupted up here because you're paying it away from you. You're paying it in the form of interest to debtors, and it's flowing away from you over here because once you save it up and it's in a savings account anyway, really not doing much for you, but it's gone. You used it and it's gone. You saved it up, it's gone. You saved it up, it's gone. Both of these things, strategies, wind up at zero. So over time, like, 5 cars later, one, two, three, four, five, 6 cars later, over your lifetime, you got a car and you're at zero. If you're saving the money, but then using it and that money's flowing away from you again, you got a car, but you're at zero. Now, the wealth creator, utilizing the infinite banking concept with a dividend paying whole life contract from a mutual company, designed the right way with the right riders to build cash and efficiency. You're going to store dollars in your life insurance. Look at what it says, wealth creator in the green dotted line. You're going to store dollars. You are going to take a loan against the policy, not from it. So powerful. Because as you take a loan against it, the cash accumulation, the cash value in the policy, uninterrupted, is still growing. So you're going to pay the loan back just like you would any other bank. But what's cool is you're not at zero. Because even though you took a loan against it, the money was still working for you and growing inside that policy. So when you wind up paying it all back, it's actually a higher starting point now, right? Higher starting point. And look here. Then you buy the next car. The next car. And I'm just using a car as an example. Shoot, later in life, this could be a house, a mortgage, and you pay the mortgage back to yourself inside the policy. I have people doing that. It is awesome, especially because, hey, you lose your job 6 months from now, right? If you're the bank controller, because you're utilizing it through your life insurance contract, you don't have a minimum payment that's due. I want you to hear that. The freedom that creates for you. Now, you should be a good banker and pay it back because you control the bank. You want the money back inside your own system. But after 6 cars, do you want to wind up here at zero or here at zero or way advanced? Not to mention, if done the right way, this is tax efficient as well because you're taking it as a loan against a policy, which is not income. The money grows tax deferred, actually, right? And you can access it tax free for the rest of your life because you're taking it as a loan against a policy. Again, not going to get into the weeds of that. Certainly, let's meet and look at your specific strategies and what makes sense for you. Okay. The Money Max account, I bring it up again because it's a good tool. Okay. You can use it even for infinite banking. You don't need the Money Max account, but I have a lot of clients that use it, and I can get into that with you. In the end, it's all about execution. It will trump knowledge. So I can give you tons of knowledge, but if I can give you a tool that actually works to help keep you on track, keep you on path, like a GPS in a car, when you turn left, turn right, you make a wrong turn and recalculates. That's why I like using the Money Max account for you, if it makes sense. But listen, I want to help. I went through that fast because this was just to give you a taste. I didn't even talk about the wills and the trust and that kind of stuff that we set up for people. But it's all a holistic view of what you need and what you want and the goals that you have. Schedule time with me. Yes, it's going to cost 99 bucks, right? I said that. But if you feel like we're a good fit and we're a good match and you realize I do care and I want to make a difference and we'll take our time together and put a plan together that makes sense. If we become acquainted, become one of my clients, I credit that back to you. It's no big deal. Okay. It's just to make sure that if you're scheduling time with me, that you take it seriously and I take it seriously and we both have good value for one another. I hope we can meet. I hope this helped a little bit to give you an idea of what I can do with you. And hope to see you soon. Schedule that meeting.